Hello, welcome to Ruckosaurus Rex, the channel where we review all things dinosaur and other prehistoric animals. And we're going to take a break from our Beast of the Mesozoic late to the party / even later to the party campaigns line of videos and get back to a known favorite, that being PNSO, and not just the company, but this particular species. We've got number 67 in the line, Thabo, the Suchomimus. And yes, definitely one of my favorite dinosaurs. I managed to see a skeletal reconstruction of a Suchomimus years ago in the area, the San Diego Natural History Museum. They had an exhibit where they had a Suchomimus skeleton restoration. They had a Giganotosaurus restoration, and Tyrannosaurus Rex was in there as well. It was quite spectacular. The Suchomimus that they had in there was it was constructed at its most massive size that we know of, that being 36 feet long. Suchomimus was estimated to be between 32 and 36 feet long, and the skeletal reconstruction I saw was at that 36 feet long. A big creature, definitely a big beast, and that's what the exhibit was. It was all it was based on all large theropod dinosaurs. I remember that day outside the just outside the hall. They had the skeletal reconstruction of a Cryolophosaurus, which was the first time I ever saw that too. Cryolophosaurus are moderately large theropods, but nowhere near the scale of Suchomimus on the smaller end, and Tyrannosaurus Rex and Giganotosaurus on the larger ends. They were some big boys. Anyway, we have the packaging here, and you see you've got a illustration of Thabo here on the cover. Now, one thing that PNSO has been criticized before in the past is that their illustrations don't match what the actual figure looks like. Our last two offerings, being the Therizinosaurus and the Dinocyrus, those matched what you saw on packaging. So we will see if we get it, if third time's charm right here. So you've got that. You've got more different artwork there on the top there, and it repeats itself on the flip side. So that's what we got going on. So without further ado, let's get Thabo out of the packaging. But before we do, as always, we go through the extras that we get with PNSO models. And first and foremost, we always show the accompanying information booklet that they always come with. And, you know, like I said, it has information. PNSO gears these booklets towards children, even though the models are premium and don't look like toys. But these booklets, they show information and illustrations of anatomy, skeletal structure, what have you, as well as illustrations like that right there. You know, you get that. We have more throughout. Look at this right there, a skeletal representation, or reproduction, I should say, of a Suchomimus, showing the silhouette of the skin around it. So yeah, we get stuff like that. So always welcome addition. Also standard with PNSO's theropod or bipedal dinosaurs comes a stand to keep them keeping them up, so they don't fall over, because over time they will warp and fall. Some of them actually fall off rip. I already saw with Thabo here, he's standing up very nicely on his own. They've got the center of balance pretty evenly spread out. And also, as always, included with their models are posters. And sometimes the posters are actual illustrations of the the animal in question, and other times it's of models of the model itself. This time it's of the dinosaur in question, and this looks absolutely gorgeous. And so at first glance, our Suchomimus Thabo is my first glance is checking out the color apps, the paint apps on the model, and they look nice. But I'm sad to say that PNSO is back to their old tricks, where it doesn't match what you see on packaging. On packaging, Thabo's coloration is a more of a greener hue there. It looks very nice on the packaging, the green coloration there, whereas here we go again with the drab look. I mean, the design, the paint design is the same, but the coloration is duller than what we saw on the box art. So it is what it is. You can see that he's standing very nicely on his own. They've got him, his legs are apart, and toes are spread out in such a way that he's really balanced well. He may eventually warp and lean over and fall over in time, but right now he's standing very solidly and securely, so that is a plus. Thabo here comes in at 11.417 inches long, and this is a 1/35th scale model, so when you do your calculations, this is representative of a 32-foot long animal, a 33-foot long animal. So that's right in there at that 1/35th scale. So this should match up nicely with some of other 1/35th scale figures, especially those with PNSOs. A little bit about Suchomimus. I already stated its size. Obviously, it's a Spinosaurid dinosaur. It came from area which is now known as Niger. So there you have that too. It was mostly, from what they gathered, despite it being a Spinosaurid, it didn't spend a whole lot of time in water like, say, Spinosaurus did. It went in there. You can tell from its anatomy that it was equipped to hunt fish. When you look at its forelimbs and the claws, especially the index claw, the way how it was shaped, very sickle-like. It was made for catching slippery, scaly, swimmy things, if you will. And of course, there's the ever-present crocodilian-like snoot. So it did hunt in the water. It just wasn't probably as prolific at it as, say, Spinosaurus was. And yeah, so let's take a closer look at Thabo. Taking a look at that skull initially, say what you will about the rest of him, the head sculpt is definitely a nice bit of art. You see the ridge up there, top of his snout. He's got a like a bony horn, and that whole section up there is like an orange colored, and then it's surrounded by yellow, and then a blue-green type of pigmentation there before it melts into a light a brown, and then it goes into a light kind of tan. Then you go, the eyes are painted in a yellow with black pupils. The we'll call them eyebrows are kind of like a mustard yellow above there, and the rest of the model you see is like this dark brown color. Like I said, it would have been nice if it had the greenish hue that was displayed on the box, but we did get it. When I'm looking at it through my viewfinder, I can kind of sort of see some green, but that's not what I'm seeing in real life. So that, you know, you've got that tan striping or strip that's going down the body, and then it just like runs out at the end right there at the base of the tail. And I'll just keep going since we just went that way. You see, you get the striping there. That's pretty nice there, and that continues all the way into the very tip of the tail. Coming back and looking at the legs, you see, you've got that same dark coloring, and then on the rear of the legs, around the calves, that they get lighter. And looking at the toes, you see you've got the nicely painted claws there, and you've got the scales going down those bird-like feet. You see there, this here on this the right side. Looking at the forelimb, you see that claw I was talking about. Right there, that index claw, that sickle-shaped, very long. The arms look nice and robust, so definitely I'm quite sure that Suchomimus utilized its arms while hunting. And looking at the underside, all light as they usually are, we do have a cloaca, you can see right there. So then you have that, and then I'll turn Thabo, and you got more of that going on. There's that other claw, and looking at that detail there, you see that with his left leg, he's pushing off that, and you see the stretching skin there and the wrinkles. Pretty nice. You've got some osteoderms there, which you could see, so that's pretty cool. Going back up to the front, we will not forget this part. He does have an articulated jaw. Get him back on camera there. For that, it's very narrow, the jaw, so keep that in mind. And but yeah, articulated jaw there, and that's how it goes down. That is Thabo, the Suchomimus. And now for some comparisons. Of course, first up will have to be our most recent Spinosaurid offering by PNSO, the ever controversial Cynopleosaurus, which is, we're not going to get into it. As far as I'm concerned, this is a Siamosaurus. It looks, most closely to that species. So, yeah, we're not going to get into it. It is what it is. Next up, we have PNSO's juvenile Spinosaurus. And it's pretty fascinating. We say juvenile, and it's nearly as long as the Suchomimus itself. And speaking of that size, once again, we have Spinosaurus, only this time from GR Toys. And this is a full-grown version of the Spinosaurus, and this, of course, is based on the 52-foot estimate. For some context, here's a zoomed-out shot of both species, so you can see, like I said, this is based on Spinosaurus being estimated at about 52 feet. So if that were true, it greatly outclasses its little cousin there. I think they've come down some on that estimate, and they've got Spinosaurus somewhere in the mid to high 40s, but I could be wrong about that. And going with our new segment of showing a comparison of the size of a dino up against a human being. This is a 2-inch figurine, and at the 1/35th scale, it represents a man that is 5'8". So that's in the neighborhood of the average male. Average male is about 5'9" 3/4". So this will do nicely, so you could see how large a Suchomimus would be next to a human. So in conclusion, the PNSO Thabo, the Suchomimus, number 67 in the line, very good looking model, definitely accurate to what we know. The head sculpt, the paint apps on the head crest, very colorful, very nice. As far as the rest of the paint scheme for Thabo, disappointing, I would say, because the box art shows Thabo to be just a little bit more colorful than we get here with the drab colors. We thought that PNSO had finally gotten out of that with their last two releases, the Dinocyrus and the Therizinosaurus, but seems like we're right back at it. But be that as it may, the paint job notwithstanding, it isn't sloppy or anything. Still good paint job. It's just The accuracy, like I said, looks great. The the robust forearms, the sickle claw, the pose is great. Obviously, it's got the articulated jaw, so we love that. And it's pretty accurate in terms of the scale. You could match this up with other models that are in that 135 scale. So that's always great, especially if you're a stickler for scale like I am. So yeah, pretty cool. Thabo, the Suchomimus by PNSO, number 67. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please put them in the comment section below. If you want to be notified for when I upload another video, please hit that bell while you're down there, and notified you shall be. Once again, this is Rekosaurus Rex, and we review dinosaur models and action figures. And I'm glad you guys are here watching with me, and thanks for hanging in there. Take care.